Can you please make welcome father of the bride, Mr. Fuchuk?
Yes, hello, Michael Fuchuk, father of the bride, Tessa. Ladies and gentlemen, and I think boys, we welcome you to Breakfast Point. Sue and I and Michael and Narelle are really pleased to be joining the two families. Watch it, Eric. The two families, the Fuchuks, Baylisses, in a really unique, it's the only one that's of its kind, I think, at the moment, unique way. And so it's a special day for us. And while I'm talking about the joining of people in marriage, let me get my political statement out. Look, true marriage, this is an enactment of true marriage, man and woman, brought together to be great companions and to have... Secondly, to go on, implied that they'll create a unique genetic diversity in the children they produce, that they're going to love like anything because they're their own. So very much believers in that here. Some might have different opinions. But now, you notice the time tonight was 5 p.m. This is breakfast. I think it's about right for Tessa, actually. She's, in fact, I'm reminded of there's a film called Breakfast at Tiffany's that even relates more to Tessa. She loves anything Tiffany, and her favourite jewellery, the blue colour. You'll see it in the bridesmaids, and you know we even managed to get some Tiffany chairs tonight. You're all sitting on them, and even with the uncomfortable back. So if you've got an itchy back, just rub a bit and you should be right. But they look good, according to Tessa. Now, I want to acknowledge some of the travellers tonight who've come special distance. I think the furthest is my own sister, Sue, from Los Angeles. Now, I hope I haven't missed anyone, but Tasmania is probably the next with the Begbies and Heidi. And then there's some people from Melbourne, that's a long way away, Kathy and Liz. And I think Amanda, is that right, from and the Baylor side. So, and there's Meredith and Stuart, also from Brisbane area. So thank you. Now, have I missed anyone who's come further than not far from Sydney? No, good. Well, thank you all for coming, first, from wherever you come. Now, I just want to reflect on a guy called Steve Martin who said some famous things in a film called Father of the Bride, ironically. And he said, well, I used to think that getting married was a simple affair, but boy and girl meet, they fall in love. He buys a ring, she buys a dress. They say, I do. I was wrong. That's getting married. A wedding is an entirely different proposition. And, it was about 5 months ago the storm broke. And 5 months, not much. But Tessa planned a spectacular wedding. And you can imagine what was going through her head once it was all announced. But nothing happens without a whole lot of helpers and people that work hard, and someone else might acknowledge them as well. But we had a really good time yesterday. This place was packed with people almost, setting this thing up, and we appreciate everyone who did that. But also, in the lead up to that, there's been so much other work. I want to point out one person in particular, and who I've been very close to, who I saw working very, very hard, and that's Tessa's mother, Sue here, who has been the mastermind, I would say, of this occasion. Tessa was very fortunate, Tessa and Anthony, very fortunate to have their own live-in wedding coordinator, administrator, manager, coach and mentor right through these last few months. I'm sure Tessa would agree. But without great concepts, nothing happens, and Tessa has, and Anthony, but Tessa in particular, set up the concept of the way this is tonight. I want to also acknowledge that we are the people who our parents produced and our grandparents before them, and we learn through the home that we live in, the values that are given to us by parents, and really become a bit of that. Sometimes we take on our own. But in particular, there's a few of the generations here tonight who are above my generation. I think I've got them all. Of course, Dorothy Boyd, Sue's grandmother, called Nana Dot, and Margaret Bayliss. I think she's called Pummy sometimes. And we missed, David couldn't be here tonight, that's Poppy. And I think we have Uncle John and Auntie Janice of Narelle's aunt and uncle. Is that right? So we're very pleased to have that generation with us who've led to bring us, this generation up, who are trying to bring up the next generation. But these things are handed down. And we do thank God for great upbringings and passing on some really good values in my generation, and then hopefully that the Baylisses and Fuchucks have passed that on to Anthony and Tessa. And now, obviously, people don't pick them all up. Tessa and I have had a few differences over a few things and does things a bit differently. And I'm sure we have to make our own way. I want to change the direction a bit here and just think about what we're looking at and what we're sitting amongst tonight. So it's really a rustic, we're calling it a rustic glam theme. Now, what's rustic? Rustic's kind of country, rural, old. Actually, I think it's from the Latin rusticus, which means the country. And unsophisticated, deep values. You know, in the modern world, we kind of want to move on, don't we? But some of these old things are really great. And the glam side of things is sort of beauty, magic, enchantment, physically attractive. We've got a few glamorous objects here and there. Probably that chandelier is one of them. And even though we've done a lot of the help of Tessa for her projects and things, but some of her choices, you balk at a bit at first, and then you say, oh, that was great. If you were at the engagement party, you'll see the same thing. And we've got to put some faith in her with some of her choices and plans and vision. Tonight, on the rustic side, you'll see a bit of stuff from our yard around here. Old fence palings, bits cut off trees, old bicycle spokes, and upstairs there's more things picked up, a lot of stuff picked up off the side of the road. And I think that Tessa's actually contributed to that a bit, because she helped pick up some of the stuff too. And she's actually learned something from me. Now, another thing is, this might be a bit contentious, but, and we've talked about it at home, that you know, we could probably marry quite a few different people. Not all at the same time, but, you know, we could probably get on with that person, also that person, or that person. And, but the one we the one we marry has to really work for us. Now, I've had a relationship with an old girl for over 20 years now, and she was pretty nice when I first picked her, but I could have picked another one, but I thought, no, this is pretty nice. It's sort of got the right qualities, and as we've gone on, we've got this relationship, and I've had to attend to a few problems. You know, we've had to kind of come to agreement and fix a few things up as time went on. And this old girl has become a really great friend of mine. I mean, you know, we talk about companionship in marriage, great companion. She's enduring like anything. I've even slept with her a lot. But as time goes on, she's still got those same old values. And as we grow old together, she's getting a little bit more rustic. I'll emphasise the word, first part of that word. And her name is Mazda B2000 NLJ 943, born in 1985. So, rustic values are often good values. They hang around and enduring things. Now, I want to move on to talking about Tessa and Anthony a bit more. Tessa's obviously absolutely beautiful today, and the closest we get to the ideal of Tessa, I think. And I think Anthony would probably agree. And that, you know, Tessa is actually not just ideal today, but she's an idealist, I think. And that's a little bit like someone else in her family who's standing here. But probably is learning some of the experience it takes to make ideal happen. Things should be this way. Why can't we, this is one of the lines we had over the last few years, why can't we get an upstairs? And I'd say, well, we just go up to Kmart and get it, you know. Her own views, she has a lot of determination when she wants to express her own views, but couldn't sway me too much. But can be swayed by Anthony's view, which is probably a really good thing. She's going to make a great home, as long as it's sort of a late night one. Cooking at midnight, washing at midnight. But she's exhibited these really great qualities about doing cooking and really would like to make a great home. Career isn't the all-in-all for her. And I think it's a really great quality in Tessa too. She has incredible decorating flair, and you've seen it today. Everything was thought of. It all, Pinterest helped a lot too. Now, Anthony and her are going to have to work out some of these late night cooking episodes, and because I think he lives slightly different hours. They're going to have to work out a lot of things about their hours, but. Another thing that Tessa thought is an idealist is that when she goes to have a wash, she thinks she's under a never-ending waterfall. And how many times they want to go and shut the hot off at the heater at about the 15-minute mark, you know. Now, when Tessa was small, she was quite a crybaby. I remember walking up the road when we were on holiday. She was very young, and the only way to get her out of the holiday place was to walk up this dark road and settle her down. But she started showing her decorating flair with lipstick all over her face. We've got it on video when she was about 2 or 3 or something. She really loved colour, and she loved dancing to certain records, and she was moving. Actually, Tessa's a great dancer. You might see her. She's left it in the last few years a bit and sings well. She also believed in fairies. She thought she guarantees that she saw real fairies out in the street one day, somewhere there, and that was some years back too. But she's also thought that she's, you know, it's been drummed in, and it's a good thing that she's a princess, and she'd really like a prince. You know, someday my prince will come. And I think this has happened. Tessa's gifting is not only, he's not the greatest organiser, administrator, but she makes fantastic lists. They're all over the place. And let's hope that will continue to improve. But look, on this occasion, she's left, there was a delegation. Today was all about decorating and organising a wedding. That's Tessa. And she left the honeymoon to Anthony. So that was a good bit of organisation. Tessa's not quite sure where she's going on Anthony's magical mystery tour. I've asked her a few times, doesn't know where her first stop is. But thanks to the Beatles. When they come back from the trip, apologies to Gershwin, but they might be singing "I Got Plenty of Nothing." Now, this is a bit more. She's leaving home, thanks to the Beatles. It rang through my mind. She's leaving home. It means a lot. Anthony's leaving home too. They stayed home until now, so this is our first taste. We they're leaving behind what to parents is childhood. And from nothing, from through, and so really for us it's end of childhood, end of time at home, and starting of a whole new phase, which is just fantastic for you. I don't know if I can do this, but something you might remember. Dum da dum ba da dum dum ba da da dum dum da dum da dum 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 ba dum ba dum dum da dum da dum da 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 dum 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 da 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 dum. That's our little carrying song. And at the end you would be bouncing around and you would go, wait, dump, and drop it. So that's our little touch of childhood that's going to stick with us, I think, for me anyway. Now, I want to move over to Anthony. I know his father's going to say something about that, but from my perspective, we got to know and respect Anthony. It's 6 years of serious dating, and that's a pretty serious connection in these modern days. And it says something. I think he was besotted from the beginning, and that's one that, at the 21st, just a year or two ago, we were wondering when the what do you call it, proposal was coming. The women were swooning. They were almost falling on the floor with Anthony's description of how he loves Tessa, and so. But we were impressed. So something's working right. A couple other things about Anthony. We know he's a manly supporter, and let's not hear the booze, but hardcore. I think he went to a great school called... Is anyone here from Knox? Yeah, okay, all right. Well, we've got a lot of Knox people here. But look, he's proved to be a real scholar, brainy, and I'm sure Tessa loves that in him, and I've appreciated having chats too. He's got a really good mind, thinker, understands issues. He's going to be a great leader in the brains at home. Both Tessa and Anthony have shown they want to serve God, and we're very happy with that in their lives. They've already led and guided young people. Anthony's actually not too practical, but he can change headlight globes in Hondas. So. We'll see, but look, if he goes on with his law degree, he probably won't have to be too practical. He might be able to pay people to do things, and so we're hoping that goes really well, Anthony. But he is polite to us, and we see one side. He came very nicely. Came to me. I'm working in the garage, and came to me to ask for Tessa's hand in marriage. And I'm delighted, and I said, well, look, we'd better go see Sue, she's in the garden. So, so we said, Anthony wants to propose marriage, and we were delighted, of course. But some of the, Tessa said he's not always that polite. Sometimes there's a bit more of a wild man in him. I don't think this would work, but another song that goes... You might be able to interpret that, Anthony, but I don't know what it means. All right, and just to conclude, I think it's called death metal. I think there's two little lines. Also, thanks to you young people probably don't know who Gershwin is, do you? But you might have heard one of the greatest composers of the 20th century. Probably don't know when that is either. But anyway, this one, apology to Gershwin. Tess, you is my woman now. From Porgy and Bess. And Tessa, I don't know if I can sing thee, but Tessa might reply about the man I love, someone to watch over me. So if you've got glasses, I would like to just propose a toast for an enduring, solid, valued marriage to Anthony and Tessa. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Michael, for that lovely speech. I now call upon Anthony's father and my friend, Mike Bayless. Thank you.
I'm glad that you consider me a friend of yours. Thank you. Okay. Well, thank you very, very much for all of you coming along tonight. I think that we should all put our hands together and give this wonderful group of people here a massive thank you for a wonderful wedding ceremony that we had early this afternoon. So if you could put your hands together. The other two people I would like to thank is Michael and Sue, because if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't be sitting here tonight enjoying all this. So if you could put your hands together and... Okay, well, I'm not terribly used to getting up and making speeches like this, but I think the first thing I'd like to do is to give some advice to Tessa and Anthony. Now, as Anthony knows and Tessa knows, I'm a keen gardener, and a couple of weeks ago we had our own family gathering, and my brother-in-law, Pete Hopkins, who's down there, he said to me, "Look, what are you going to do for your speech?" I said, "Well, I'm going to get a bit of a gardening flavour to it." And he looked at me as if I was an idiot. He said, "Well, how do you put a gardening flavour to a wedding speech?" Well, it's a bit like this. This is a quote from Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, who was an American poet and writer and lived about 100 years ago. It goes like this. "Kind hearts are the gardens. Kind thoughts are the roots. Kind words are the flowers. Kind deeds are the fruits. Take care of your garden. Keep out the weeds. Fill it with sunshine, kind words and kind deeds." So in thinking about these words and potting around my own garden a few weeks ago, and how to exemplify Anthony's life in a few short words, or a few short minutes. It occurred to me that raising children and your garden both reflect the amount of weeding done during the growing season. But Tessa, Narelle and I have weeded and pruned. I was going to say manured, but I think fertilised would probably be a better word. We've fertilised Anthony to the best of our ability over the last 23 years, and I think we've done a pretty good job. Okay? Fortunately, that job for us is now over. Any pruning and weeding and fertilising that is left, we leave to you and your capable hands. Okay. I hope that you can do a better job than we did. At this point, I might add that, Tessa, that Anthony is non-returnable, is non-refundable, he's definitely non-changeable, and perhaps in 25, 30 years from now, when your own children are roughly around about the same age as you are now, there may be an opportunity to recycle him in some way, or at least parts of him. Anthony, your mother and I are extremely proud of you and your achievements. You have always worked hard through school with the achievement of getting into university to study philosophy and law. Your participation in soccer and basketball throughout most of your school life has been a pleasure and exciting to watch. We have always been keen to observe you in cadet parades, and I might say that your mother has always been overwhelmingly keen to pack you off to cadet camp. To your credit, you have gathered around you some amazing friends. These gentlemen who you went through school with, those you've known since year 5. Your friends from church who are sort of sitting around up the back there. 2 groups of friends who have struck a very strong bond for you. And being an old Knox boy, I know that the friends that you've made here and those that you have from church, you will have these friends for the rest of your life. You will. Because, you know, I'm 57 years of age and I still have friends. My friends that I went through school with are still my good friends, and they will last you all your days. Okay? You've got to make sure that happens, Alex. Your participation in church life has been exemplary, to the point of becoming a group leader and mentoring young boys in their Christian faith. We are so grateful that you have become the wonderful young man that we see in front of us now. And we know that you will continue to grow in wisdom, in strength and faith, and lead your own children down that path of Christian faith. Tessa, Narelle and I, as does all my family, welcome you to the Bayless fame and fortune. And I especially welcome you as my first daughter-in-law. There'll be another following in about 10 years' time. So you two will be an example to my youngest son. And I know that all of Anthony's cousins welcome you as a new sister and a new friend. So welcome to the Bayless family. May God bless you both. And I know from all the extremely hard work that Anthony has put in, the hours and hours and hours of work that he has put in for your honeymoon, the Wollongong is just going to be absolutely amazing. Fishing trawler that he's booked for your cruise is just great. So look, you are going to have the best honeymoon. He's just organised the whole thing himself, and you will love every minute of it. Take your time around Paris, all right? Don't worry that, every minute of every day is not organised, because you can go to cities and just explore. You just walk out the door and go for a walk, and you will discover and meet and find things that will just amaze you, all right? So just enjoy it, relax, and just have a wonderful time and just take it in. Soak every second in as you go, all right, both of you, all right? I hope that you have a wonderful honeymoon. I know you both will, all right? So if you could put your hands together for these two again. Thank you very much.
Let's give a round of applause to Michael for that lovely speech. Can you now please give a warm welcome to Sarah Linegar.
Doesn't matter. Hi everyone, I'm Sarah. It's very nice to meet you all if I haven't met you already. I don't have paper because I'm of the younger generation, so I'm going off my phone. Terribly sorry if that offends anybody. Sorry guys, just not going old school. Anyway, firstly, I would like to welcome everybody on behalf of the bride and groom, to all the family, the friends, the relatives, people who came from overseas and everything. I know you already did that, but I know that they would want to say it for themselves as well. And so welcome, thank you for being here. It wouldn't happen if you weren't here. So it's an absolute pleasure to have you all here. So yes, welcome. And then secondly, I also want to say a vote of thank you, because I was here yesterday and we were setting up all day. This was literally a blank canvas. There was nothing in here. And please, please make sure that you go up the stairs just behind the doors here and check out everything upstairs, because Tessa has literally spent months, Tessa and her dad have spent months picking stuff up off the side of the road, altering it, making it look beautiful, and it's absolutely stunning up there. It's actually like a shop. So if you want to buy anything, come and find me. I take cash. Okay? Good? Good. Is that okay? Okay, good. Yeah. So anyway, firstly, I would also like to thank the hair and makeup artists who woke us up at the crack of dawn and made all of us bridesmaids actually look awake and the bride look absolutely stunning. Does anybody think that she looks amazing? What a babe! What a babe. So not only do we have a chandelier here, we have chandeliers on her ears. So it's like 3 for the price of 1. It's great. It's beautiful. So basically, the way that I know Tessa, in case you're wondering, we actually met when we were approximately in the 3rd grade. And Meredith, would you want to put your hand up? Hey, Mez. Everybody, this is Meredith. Say hello, Meredith. Hello, Meredith. Meredith and Tessa were actually best friends growing up in primary school. We didn't go to the same school, but we were very good friends with Meredith. And for some reason, somehow, we met Tessa. And so growing up all the way through primary school, we knew each other here and there. We were still good friends. We went to each other's parties. And then we ended up at the same high school. And it was awesome. So we've done this whole journey all the way through high school. We've been to youth together, church. We've done absolutely everything. Our whole lives between primary school and now have just been together. So it's an absolute honour to have stood beside you today and watch you get married to your best friend of 7 flipping long years. Can anybody testify to that? It's absolutely amazing, and it's an honour to be here and sit at this table with you and witness this whole moment. It's absolutely, I can't believe that this day's actually here and almost nearly done. It's crazy. But yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say. There was something very important. Oh yeah, the electronic device that's so reliable. Oh yes, okay, that's right. So, I don't know if everybody knows this, but when they first met, and well, a little bit after they first met, they started dating. And it was awesome for about 3 weeks. And then Anthony got dumped. Very, very sad. So there was about 6 months of counselling and Anthony, it's going to be okay. And Tessa was just off with the fairies, life's fine, I'm good. And Anthony's heartbroken, shedding tears to sleep every night. So you can imagine the relief when they finally got back together and all was well and there were suddenly fireworks and everything was fine and Tessa was like, oh, I think I actually like you. This is great. And 7 years, finally, we're here. Thank God. Can anybody say amen? I can say amen. Anyway, I'm excited. Anyway, so I just wanted to congratulate. Are you guys excited? I'm excited. Good. Okay. So I want to wish you all the best. One, on your honeymoon, because you're going to have the best time. And Anthony, your father was completely correct. Go adventure, explore, do things that you don't plan, because that's where you make the best memories. Absolutely the best memories. But most of all, not just for your honeymoon, but for the rest of your lives and your marriage together and doing life together. Do what Cam said, love each other, put each other first. And I just wish you all the best. And we're going to be here doing the journey with you anyway, so we'll make sure that we keep you in line if we can. But we're here for you. Everybody in this room loves you both to absolute pieces and would go to the ends of the earth for you. Quite clearly, some people have come across the earth for you, so it's true. But just know that everybody here loves you and we've got your back. And we're so proud of you. We're so proud of this moment and we can't wait to see how the next 80 years unfold should you choose to live to another 80 years. We're excited for that. 103. Come on. 17 grandchildren, 15 children. It's going to be great. Isn't it going to be great? Lots of kids, lots of grandkids, babies everywhere, populating the earth. Anyway, can everybody please raise their glasses to Anthony and Tessa? To Anthony and Tessa. Now, quickly, before you can get rid of me, I would also like to thank the groomsmen. So this is, I don't know if anybody is aware, but this is actually every single one of these boys' first wedding. They've never been to a wedding, they've never been part of a wedding, and if you look at them now, you wouldn't be able to tell. Honestly, this whole day, firstly, thank you for getting Anthony to the church on time, and also alive, and calm, and not sweating through 15 different shirts. You did good, Anthony, well done. Good job. And so thank you so much for everything that you guys have done today as well. They've really looked after us. They have been the absolute gentlemen of a lifetime, picking stuff up, making sure we've got our flowers and not sinking into the grass as we're taking photos and lending us an arm and opening the door. They've been absolute gentlemen and giving us your jackets when we were cold. Oh, so lovely. Anyway, so I just want to say, Anthony taught them well. He taught them well. But thank you so much, boys. So I would please, like everybody, again, to raise your glasses, a toast to the groomsmen. To the groomsmen. Thank you very much. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you for that extremely passionate and excited speech. I feel very awake now. I'll now pass the microphone over to a very good friend of mine and the best man, Alex Morris. Thank you.
Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, I'd like to thank you all once more for turning up to what for some of us could be the happiest day of our year, and for some of us, no doubt, the happiest day of our lives. My best man day. A special thank you to Anthony and Tessa for dressing up so nicely for me. I'm really very honoured, so thank you guys. On a serious note, I hope you're all enjoying yourselves at this wonderful celebration, and I'm really honoured to preside over the only 5 minutes of the day that Tessa didn't plan. before I go on, I'd like to propose a toast to all the beautiful bridesmaids, Sarah, Emma, Cassie, and Susie. Don't they all look wonderful? For those who don't know me, my name is Alex Morris, but Anthony just calls me Sweetheart. Yeah, that's awkward. That's awkward. I may not be the most obvious candidate for best man. Having only moved here about 10 years ago, I didn't know Anthony as the nervous, highly strung little child that I'm sure he once was. But I think we can all agree that the years that are best forgotten, and therefore best to bring up on his wedding day, are his high school years. So these are the years we remember for knee-high stripy socks and dark nail polish, glorious blonde highlights, and the tightest, most colourful pants that Supre had to offer. I'll remind you I'm talking about the groom here, yeah? I'll also admit, though, for every time Anthony put on some black eye makeup and took a photo for MySpace, I was right next to him, cutting the sleeves off my shirts and straightening my hair before school in the morning. Needless to say, I think we were pretty highly regarded as the cool kids around Knox Grammar School. Anthony here, his popularity just skyrocketed when he started doing Hardcore Fridays in the school lunchroom, initiating sudden bursts of heavy metal music and guerrilla-style mosh pit dancing in amongst all the games of table tennis and cards. Or the time that he fronted our school rock band, shouting anarchic lyrics into a microphone in a very public lunchtime performance. To quote, "Stuff you, I won't do what you tell me." What a rock star, right? This guy. Yeah, vintage Bayless. Never want to do anything half-assed. He's since transformed himself from this angry, flamboyant young man into our own James Bond sort of character. He's the classiest man we all know. He's swapped his black t-shirts for tailored jackets. He swapped his Cradle of Filth CDs for wine appreciation magazines. And his mosh pits for a really important seat behind a desk in our Tarman, where I think he does something to do with the internet. So I recently got the pleasure of experiencing a fancy new Bayless firsthand when he, myself, and our wonderful MC Angus Loxton, this fella over here, we all saved up for months and went out for a gentleman's night at the #1 restaurant in Australia. Yeah, that was, So we're there, finishing off our Marin consommes and our petit fours, and we're sitting. I just know that on our way in, we found out that Bayless had made the booking under a fake business name of Boyce and Campbell. So we were escorted to an exclusive room and given our own sommelier for the evening. So thanks, man. We're sitting there, back upright in our suits, finishing off our petit fours, and this guy's talking us through aged cognac and the reasons you should drink it out of a wine glass rather than a brandy balloon. And this heavy metal demon over here, sitting back, sniffing and swirling and sipping like the Monopoly man. And I realised that this man, he's our cultural superior. We need to all humble ourselves and realise that we can learn a thing or two from him about how to live properly, how to live sophisticatedly. And Tessa, just don't be too surprised when you come home one day, you find Anthony in a dressing gown and cravat, smoking a massive pipe, and he's suddenly too good to eat anything for dinner except for Western Australian truffle. Yeah, He's a cool guy. So, on another note, I know it's not really allowed. I know it's kind of a bit taboo in this situation. But I'd like to take a second to talk about Anthony's first girlfriend. Yeah, right? Yeah. Her name's Tessa and he's marrying her today! Bagged her, yeah. Now, I know it's probably a sad day for most of the single men out there. And there goes one more tall, pretty blonde girl. And for all the single ladies out there, I think you'd be fine. Now, I'd like to finish up by offering my warmest and sincerest congratulations to the happy couple. Anthony, you leave here today with a wife who's kind, smart, loving, elegant, beautiful. Tessa, you leave here with a beautiful new dress. And so on and so forth. And no, we're all really, really happy for you guys. Throughout the day, nothing's really sunk in, the gravity of this situation, that suddenly, I've grown up I'm a chef and a waiter, so I've served all these sorts of things, and I'm always worrying about the bridal table, and I'm sitting right here at the bridal table next to the groom, and suddenly they're married, and it's still a bit weird, but, you know, it's going to sink in, and it's such a fantastic situation, and we're really happy for you. You've made everyone in the room so happy to be here just for you guys today. And, yeah, may the two of you grow old together and share the same happiness you do today. All the toasts seem to have been exhausted, so what I'll do a toast to the parents today for creating these two fine people. Michael and Sue Fuchuk. So a toast to them, please. Thank you very much. Tessa's parents. And Michael number 2 and Narelle Bayless for Anthony right here. Thank you so much for everything, guys, and here's to you guys. Thank you. A quick goodbye to Michael Lewis, who's just left the room before the groom's speech. See you guys. See you back here soon. We'll continue when you're ready. Now it is my honour to present to you, as he's always been, Mr. Bayless, but yeah, Mr. Bayless, the new husband of Mrs. Bayless, Anthony Bayless, everyone. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to first start by thank you all for coming tonight. Our family and our friends are the most important thing to us, and we all love you all, and we're all so grateful for the love that you've invested in us. So we'd like to thank you, firstly, for coming and for experiencing what is the most important day of our lives, and sharing that with us. I'd like to thank Michael and Sue Fuchuk. They've worked incredibly tirelessly to prepare this all. From the moment I proposed to Tessa, we arrived home and preparations were already underway for this night, and we were already having, and Sue was already asking us questions about what we needed to do and prompting us to what we needed to do from that open day. And I'm so grateful for the way you've raised Tessa and the way you've brought her up, and for welcoming me into your home in such a loving way, and for the time I've known you, for being open to me and just so kind and generous to me. I'm so grateful to be entering your household and the love that your family has. I'd like to thank my parents for the love that they've shown to me and to us, and the way they've brought us up and the sacrifices that they've made in their lives, so that me and Suzanne and James could have the very best, and I just want you to know I love you very dearly, and I'm so grateful for everything you've put into my life and the way you brought me up, and just the love, incredible devotion you've shown to me, and yeah, I love you both. Yeah, so to the people who helped out with all of this, there were so many people who put time and effort in yesterday and throughout the period to make this all come to fruition, and we're just so grateful to you all for the sacrifice that you put out of your time, and the effort that you put in, and the way you just threw yourselves into it and put yourselves at our disposal to make this all happen. We're so grateful for you all. To the bridal party, you all look absolutely stunning tonight. You all look just amazing, and I'm so glad and grateful for the love that you've shown to Tessa and the support that you've been to her over this time, and you've all just really been there for her and really stepped up to the mark in terms of giving her support and just getting behind her and encouraging her, and you've really, I know, you've all had such an incredible part to play in developing her as a person, as her friends, and I'm grateful for the friendships that I have with all of you, and for the way that you've developed Tessa and helped her become who she is, and helped us as a couple. To my groomsmen, to Andrew and Nick and Cuffs. Yeah. Yes, Cuff Chapman here, Australia's most hardened criminal. And they've been incredible for me, and they've they've just been so supportive, and Morris especially. Morris has really just been over and above everything that I could ask for with getting ready. He's been such a calming influence. He's just really, man, I'm just so grateful for your friendship and for everything you've done for this. You just really gone out of your way to make everything as smooth as possible for me, and I'm forever grateful for the way you've acted over this 5 months, and I'm especially grateful you didn't bring up half the things you could have brought up tonight. And the love of my life. I first saw Tessa actually in a mosh pit. It was the 26th of June in 2006, and I saw this girl across the room and thought she was stunning and beautiful. And the next couple of months, I just kept her in the corner of my eye, looking out for her, trying to work out how I could orchestrate meeting her and having a conversation with her. And a couple of months later, sort of mid-August, worked out that she was catching a bus home from youth group, and that this would probably be a good opportunity to continue to start catching this bus, so that I could maybe pursue this interest that I developed. Very creepy, very creepy. And then it was the 31st of August in 2006. I orchestrated sitting next to her, across from her, on the bus, and we struck up a conversation, hit it off instantly, and despite a couple of road bumps after that for the next 6 months, it's all good, it's all forgiven. No, there's no pain still there, it's all good. We've been together ever since. She's the love of my life. She's the most incredible woman, and seeing her on that day, she was so beautiful, but the way she looks today is just way more than anything. She's just so lovely, and I'm so grateful to be marrying someone who is so kind and generous and so encouraging towards everyone. She's there to love people, and that's what she does best. She just loves on people, and she's such a devoted friend, and I just can't wait to see what God has in store for us and to live the rest of our lives together. I love you with all my heart, and I can't wait to do this journey with you and experience everything that's in store for us together. So, to my wife. See you on the DF.